Unit 1. Regulating stay and work of foreigners in host country. Within this unit you will be introduced to the term of foreign national and categories of foreigners. As FDI advisor, you should be familiar with basic characteristics of certain categories and basic conditions which are required to fulfill in order to obtain permit. After acquiring knowledge from this unit, you will be able to recognize difference between foreign national categories status, inform foreign citizens of procedure of work and residence permit depending on their status, introduce the process of acquiring temporary work and residence permit to the foreign citizen. The condition for granting temporary or permanent stay permit to foreigners are regulated by the Foreigners Act and accompanying bylaws. The Foreigners Act divides the foreigners who wish to stay or work in Croatia into several categories. The documents submitted with the application depend on the category. Those categories are: 1. Short-term stay registration procedure. 2. Nationals of EEA member states and their family members. 3. Third country nationals with permanent residence in an EEA member state and their family members. 4. Highly qualified third country nationals. 5. Third country nationals. Short-term stay is a stay of a foreign national of up to 90 days, 3 months, in any period of 180 days, 6 months, on the basis of a visa or without a visa. The following are exempted from the obligation to register for a short-term stay: nationals of EEA member states, foreign nationals who are not nationals of an EEA member state or Swiss Confederation and are family members of nationals of Croatia or another EEA member state. Persons who can be considered family members are designated in the provisions of the Foreigners Act. They are entitled to stay in Croatia for up to 3 months from the date of entry, if they possess a valid travel document or personal ID. Any legal or personal entity or any other public institution which had provided accommodation to the national of a third state must register their stay within 1 day from the arrival date. If the registration can't be done by accommodation provider, nationals of a third state are required to register their short-term stay by themselves within 2 days from the date of entry or change of accommodation. A short-term stay shall be reported to the police department or police station in charge in accordance with the place of accommodation, and it could also be done electronically. Registration Form 8, and more information are available on the website of the Ministry of Interior Affairs. Nationals of EEA member states or the Swiss Confederation and their family members, or family members of Croatian nationals intending to stay in Croatia longer than 3 months have to register temporary residence no later than 8 days before the end of the 3-month stay. Certificate of registered temporary residence is issued in the form of a biometric residence permit valid for up to 5 years. The procedure is performed at the police station depending on the address. Nationals of EU member states and their family members can work and provide services in Croatia with no residence or work permit and no work registration certificate. However, according to Article 236 of the Foreigners Act, the government of the Republic of Croatia may, after accession of the Republic of Croatia to the European Union, by its ordinance, lay down implementation rules referring to work of nationals of the European Union member states and members of their families and which are being implemented at the time of signing a treaty of accession, with regard to nationals of those member states that are to implement national measures or measures resulting from bilateral agreements, for the period of implementation of such measures. List of EU member countries that have limited access to their labour market for Croatian nationals can be found on the website of the Ministry of Labour and Pension System. Based on reciprocity, for nationals of those EU member states and members of their families, restrictions apply in accessing Croatia's labour market, therefore said foreigners can regulate their legal work status in the following manner. If they want to work up to 90 days a year based on the work registration certificate, If they want to work longer than 90 days a year and are establishing labor relations in Croatia, they have to apply for residence and work permit. These limitations will remain in effect until EU member states apply the same limitation for the Croatian nationals and their family members. Temporary residence to a third country national with permanent residence in another EEA member state will be approved if they have a valid passport, means of supporting themselves and their family members, health insurance. If they fulfill the rest of the criteria for granting temporary residence given the nature of stay. Request can be submitted in Croatian Diplomatic Mission Consular Office in EEA member state or police department office in Croatia. Issuing residence and work permit, the EU Blue Card. Residence and work permit, the EU Blue Card, simultaneously grants temporary residence and work in Croatia. Residence and work permit can be granted to third country nationals who meet the criteria stated in Article 54 of the Foreigners Act, a valid passport, health insurance, proof they have means of support, and enclose 1 work contract or some other corresponding contract for performing highly qualified labor, lasting for at least a year. 2 proof of high school education or completed undergraduate and graduate studies or integrated undergraduate and graduate studies or specialist graduate studies. The residence and work permit, the EU Blue Card, is issued in the form of biometric residence permit. Request may be submitted in Croatian Diplomatic Mission Consular Office in EEA member state or at the police administration station in the intended place of residence in Croatia. Temporary residence may be granted on the following grounds. 1. Family reunification. 2. Secondary school education and university studies. 3. Scientific research. 4. Humanitarian grounds. 5. Life partnership. 6. Work. 7. Other purposes. Foreigners who do not need a visa for entering Croatia can submit their temporary residence application to the police administration police station according to the intended place of residence, employer's location or place of work. Foreigners who do need a visa for entering Croatia submit their temporary residence or work and residence application to a diplomatic mission consular post of Croatia. Exceptionally, they can submit the application to the police administration police station according to the intended place of residence if 1. They are coming for the purposes of regular undergraduate, graduate or postgraduate studies. 2. They are coming for the purposes of scientific research based on visiting contract. 3. They are covered by Article 76, Paragraph 1, Items 12, 13, 14 and 15 of the Foreigners Act. See also Article 79, Paragraph 1, Item 2 of the same Act. 4. He/she is close family member of nationals of third country from 1, 2, 3 points of this paragraph. 5. He/she is close family member of Croatian citizen. 6. He/she is life or non-formal life partner of Croatian citizen. The following must be enclosed with the application. A color 35x 45 mm photo. A copy of a valid passport. Evidence of health insurance. Evidence of sufficient means of subsistence. Evidence of the reason for temporary stay, for example marriage certificate, university enrollment confirmation or other proof based on purpose of intended stay. Enclosed documents must be either original or a certified copy, not older than 6 months. Foreign documents have to be translated into Croatian language and certified in line with special regulations. Within 30 days of receiving the notification that their temporary stay has been granted, foreigners have to report their residence to the police administration station. Failing to do so within said time period, the temporary stay permission work and residence permit become invalid. A temporary residence permit is valid for 1 year. The passport on the basis of which the permit is issued must be valid for at least 3 months longer than the period for which the permit is issued for. A foreigner shall be granted temporary residence if he can provide the reason for temporary residence, if he possesses a valid travel document, sources for living expenses, health insurance, and there is no ban on his entry and stay, and if he is not a threat to public order, national security or public health. More detailed information on the stay of foreigners is published on the website of the Ministry of the Interior. An application for a temporary residence permit should be submitted by the foreign national. An application for permission to stay and work may be submitted also by the employer. Since regulations are changing rapidly, FDI Advisors should check the data on the provided web pages or directly contact the relevant stakeholders before giving any information or starting the permit procedure for foreign investors.